Jewelry store heists where bandits snatch gems worth millions. Daily explosions, shaking apartment blocks and restaurants. Shootings in broad daylight, even in front of crowds. Add to that arsons and armed robberies. Welcome to the Wild West, or rather the Netherlands today. This is no fairy tale land of windmills and tulips, it's gang territory. Beneath the calm facade of the Netherlands, a war between criminal groups rages on. I've gathered some fresh cases for you that show what everyday life in this country really looks like. Sit back and let's dive into this uncensored dark journey. Jewelry store break-in, master-level audacity. We start with a story that proves Dutch thieves aren't amateurs. In Sluis, a crew of crooks stormed a jeweler's shop and made off with loot worth 200,000 euros. Diamonds, gold, anything that sparkles. But wait, that's not all. A few days later, the same guys came back for more, as if they thought they were untouchable. Their second attempt didn't go as planned. Maybe the alarm went off, maybe the police were quicker, or maybe they just got unlucky. Footage shows masked guys operating like they're in an action movie. Fast, efficient, no unnecessary chatter. These aren't amateurs. This is an organized gang that knows how to break in and vanish. They sped off from the scene in an Audi. Sound familiar? That's exactly the MO of the so-called Audi Bande, an organized crime group that's been causing havoc across Europe for years. They cross borders like they don't exist, target jewelers, and then disappear without a trace. Were they behind this heist? We don't know yet, but it sure looks like it. If you want to know more about the Audi Bande, who they are, how they operate, and why they're so hard to catch, check out my episode dedicated to them. You'll find the link in the description. Jewelry store robbery with a bloody trail. Jewelers in the Netherlands live like they're on a minefield. In another case, an attacker burst into a store with a gun, terrorized the staff, and fled with a bag full of jewelry. But he made one fatal mistake. He left a trail of blood behind. Maybe he cut himself during the escape. Maybe he smashed a window. The police now have his DNA and are asking for help to track him down. This shows that even in the chaos of a robbery, one small detail can be the nail in the coffin. Meanwhile, in Oosterbeek, another brazen heist took place. At night, unknown perpetrators attacked another jeweler. They destroyed the front door, stole gold worth 100,000 euros, and caused another 100,000 euros in damages. Bicycle theft with total impunity. The Netherlands is a cyclist's paradise, but also a paradise for bike thieves. In Eindhoven, a guy was cutting the lock off an electric bike with a grinder in broad daylight, while a witness recorded it all on their phone. The thief couldn't care less that he was being filmed. He stole like it was his day job. Thefts are a plague in the Netherlands, and electric bikes, which can cost thousands of euros, are like magnets for thieves. In the Netherlands, a bike isn't just a means of transport, it's a lifestyle, and sometimes a bigger investment than a car. A robbery that flopped. Not every heist is Oscar-worthy. In one Dutch town, a guy walked into a store, threatened the staff, but left empty-handed. Footage shows a dude acting like he's there to buy bread, not pull off a robbery. No panic, no rush, but also no loot. After leaving the store, he even chatted with an employee like nothing happened. Maybe he panicked at the last second. Maybe something felt off. It's weird because these calm robberies are rare. Most bandits storm in loud and threaten everyone around. Do you think this was an amateur or just someone having a bad day? Let me know in the comments what you think. Explosions straight out of an action movie. Now we're stepping up to a higher level of crime, explosions. In the Netherlands, explosives are becoming a popular way to settle scores. In one case, an apartment building was set on fire and blown up, spreading panic among residents. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night to your home in flames. In another case, bombs were planted under private homes, as if someone wanted to send a clear message. Footage shows masked figures planting the charges. The police suspect this is the work of drug gangs, which hold massive influence in the Netherlands. The country may look peaceful, but underneath, a real war is raging. What do you think about these attacks? A show of strength or gang desperation? I made a separate episode about explosive Netherlands, and I invite you to check it out. Jewelers under fire. Jewelers are back in the crosshairs. For thieves, they're like banks full of cash, but with weaker security and less risk of getting caught. In two separate robberies, armed bandits stormed stores and escaped with loot. In one case, the perpetrators jogged into action like they were warming up for a run. This wasn't random. It's a clever way to throw off investigators. Walking style often helps identify criminals, and here it was, deliberately disguised. Footage shows we're dealing with well-organized groups operating like special forces. They enter, threaten, grab the loot, and vanish in minutes. These aren't random amateurs. These are professionals who might be operating across the entire Netherlands. Store heist gone wrong. As I mentioned, not every heist is a success story. In one phone store, the robbers thought they'd grab the latest iPhones, but in reality, they stole plastic dummies. The authorities released footage showing them storming the store, causing chaos, and stealing the fakes. They probably weren't laughing when they realized their loot was worthless plastic. It's like stealing a wallet full of Monopoly money. Imagine their faces when they figured out their efforts were for nothing. Polish man shot in Rotterdam. Now, a case that hit me hard. In Rotterdam, a 60-year-old Polish man was shot on the street in broad daylight. The attacker fired and fled, leaving the victim fighting for his life in the hospital. The footage you see shows the wanted suspect. It's unclear if this was a targeted hit or a random act, but shootings like this aren't rare in the Netherlands. It's slowly turning into America, where gunshots are heard all the time. It's heartbreaking that a Pole ended up in the middle of such a tragedy. Execution on a restaurant terrace. This is one of the most shocking cases in this episode. In Rijswijk, a 41-year-old man was gunned down on a restaurant terrace in front of customers, in the middle of the day, with the place packed. This wasn't a stray shot. It looks like a cold, planned execution. The police say it could be the work of a hired hitman acting on orders. Public killings like this send a message that no one is safe, even in broad daylight. The victim was Samuel Önal, a Turkish citizen who had been warning for months that his life was in danger. He claimed to have incriminating evidence about illegal gambling, money laundering, and mafia ties to politicians in Turkey and northern Cyprus. He was not only a witness, but a potential whistleblower who could threaten entire networks. Önal refused to return to his country, saying he knew he wouldn't survive there. Dutch authorities were aware of his fears, but failed to prevent the execution, which looked meticulously planned and carried out with cold precision. Explosions in Amsterdam and The Hague. Explosions in the Netherlands are almost a daily occurrence. In Amsterdam, thieves carried out a so-called plofkraak. They blew up an ATM, grabbed the cash, and fled. In The Hague, a bomb literally obliterated a Turkish restaurant, leaving rubble behind. Footage shows suspects operating at night, but without fear. These attacks aren't just thefts, they're displays of power by gangs who want to show who's in charge. Arson attack on a Moroccan community center. In Rotterdam, someone set fire to a community center mainly serving Moroccans. The guy smashes a window, throws in flammable materials, lights it up, and disappears. The police suspect it could be an ethnically motivated attack or a settling of scores. Either way, this wasn't random vandalism. Cases like this raise concerns because they show that crime in the Netherlands isn't just about money, it's also about social tensions. Explosion outside a law firm. Another explosion, this time outside a law firm. A guy rides up on a bike with the materials needed to carry out his mission and starts his operation. Authorities suggest this could be revenge against a lawyer digging into drug gang cases. Lawyers in the Netherlands are increasingly becoming targets because the drug business shows no mercy. This shows how deeply organized crime has infiltrated society. No one is safe, not even lawyers. Armed robberies at a gas station and supermarket. Now to cases that show how brazen some Dutch criminals are. Two armed robberies that could be scenes from a gangster flick. In the first case, masked guys stormed a gas station, pointed guns at the cashier, and demanded cash. In the second, the same or a similar crew hit a supermarket, threatening staff and customers. The footage is like something out of a thriller. You see masked attackers storming in, yelling for everyone to hit the floor. They grab the cash from the register in moments. These aren't long operations, maybe a few minutes, but for the victims, it feels like an eternity. Interestingly, the police say these robbers are often young guys, sometimes even teens. Looking for easy money but not thinking about the consequences. Prison, ruined lives, or even accidental victims if things go wrong. In the supermarket, what surprised me was that one employee tried to resist. Luckily, no one was hurt, but it could have ended badly. The Netherlands has a problem with these kinds of robberies because, while the country seems calm, the number of armed raids on small shops and gas stations is rising. Why? Maybe poverty in certain neighborhoods, maybe easy access to guns on the black market, or maybe just young people wanting to feel like Netflix gangsters. The police suspect these two robberies might be linked. Maybe it's the same gang hitting easy targets in the area. Footage shows they work in pairs, coordinated but not always professional. Man on a scooter and an explosion in a supermarket. Finally, a story that sounds like a joke, but is unfortunately true. Though it happened in Belgium, it's worth mentioning as a curiosity. A man on a scooter threw powerful firecrackers into a supermarket, causing not one, not two, but 3 explosions. The media and authorities call him the Scooter Man. No surprise, since footage shows him casually riding up, tossing the firecrackers, and riding off like it's a routine trip. The police still don't know if this was vandalism, revenge, or part of a bigger plan. One thing's clear. Crime in the region can be not only dangerous, but sometimes downright surreal. The Netherlands is a land of contrasts. Bikes and canals on one hand, explosions, shootings, and executions on the other. These cases are just the tip of the iceberg. Organized crime, especially drug-related, is a daily reality here. Ordinary people live in the shadow of gangster feuds. If this topic interests you, check out my other episodes on Dutch crime. This isn't fiction, it's reality. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's one click for you, but a clear signal to me that I'm on the right track. Subscribe to the channel too, so you don't miss more criminal bombshells.